Okay. Mint. Okay. You can monitor the chat downstairs.
They're just wrapping up with some technical difficulties, right?
There we
Wait, okay, there we go.
go. Okay, Juliana, I hear you echoing through everywhere. All right. Zoom wouldn't let me in my own Zoom room. Can you
Oh
believe it? I don't
no.
get Life is too funny. All right.
There you go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody, for showing up before I did. Um, all right, I just need to zen myself into this. Today's talk. Now, let me start off. Who am I? So many familiar faces on here, so I know who I am. And I have been a holistic practitioner for over 30 years now. I spent 20 years in pharmaceutical, and pharmaceutical was not helping my family. And I asked God for alternatives. And Reiki showed up, and then EFT showed up, and Body Talk showed up, and Emotional Code showed up, and all of these different modalities have been amazing, absolutely amazing for helping me read the body. And then about 3 years ago, more magic came into my life, and that's the AO scan. When my tools weren't working, I was introduced to the AO scan, and it made differences so quickly that I was just blown away. And I actually spent 6 months trying to prove it didn't work. Well, I was proved wrong because it worked every single time. One of the things I have found using the AO scan, though, is we have to support the body too, not just use frequencies all the time. We need to be hydrated. We need to keep moving. And today we're talking about the lymphatic system, which is our pump that drives the fluids through our body, that makes the frequencies move through our body, that helps our hormones, that helps everything stabilize. So we're going to do a little bit of a lecture on that. But don't get too comfortable. Don't sit on a couch or in your bed. I want you sitting upright in a chair because I'm going to make you move a little bit, sometimes maybe a lot, to keep our lymph going. Because when we sit, it literally divides our body in half. This is my back, this is my buttocks, and then my legs hang down here. And so many people have the fluids pool down at the bottom of their legs and cause swelling, which means that it's not circulating throughout our whole body. And if we're in this position, bent like a chair, gee, it looks like a chair, then we're not getting fluid into our eyes. We're not getting the fluids we need into our ears. We're not getting the fluids we need into our brain. And your brain uses up 75% of the water you drink. That means the rest of the body only gets 25%. And that 25% is what you need to move all your hormones and everything around, to clear up the debris, to get rid of toxins. And so my talk is not just going to be about lymph, but I want to overlap into something that women seem to complain about a lot. And society likes us to focus on that instead of what we're supposed to be focusing on. And we call it fat. F-A-T, the F word. And most of us are not fat. Okay? We may have pockets of fat, or we may get a little full under the arms or something. What we call fat is actually the body trying to protect herself or hisself, if there's any guys on the call. My notes. This is 15 pages of what I was writing. There's another 27 pages, so I think I have to make 4 master classes. And Juliana's laughing already because she knows when I start talking, I don't stop. So if you get bored with what I'm saying, I want you to do this symbol, okay? Just do that at me, and I'll know that I either need to make you exercise or I need to change the topic. All right. So, what this program is about, we are all in Body Shift 2026, okay, with the AO scan. And the reason Juliana got us together to make this program for you was to help you be more fluent in frequencies. The The AO scan is now so robust and so full, it's like trying to listen to me cram four master classes into one. We can get really, really overwhelmed. And I don't want you overwhelmed. I want you to realize that this is really easy. Okay, so last week we started off by asking you to do the easy scan. Don't try and understand all the reports. Don't let your head get in the game and derail you. Okay, because that creates cortisol. And cortisol in a woman's body, guess what that creates? It creates fat. And that fat then stagnates our lymph. And that throws off our hormones and it throws off our thinking. And it's just this repetitive, cataclysmic cycle that keeps on going. So I want to reel back and just relax that. Now, because the universe gave me a challenge coming in here with Zoom, I need to tap that out. And I want to have you all work with me and just start tapping on the top of your head. Really, really gentle. It's not hard. And take a big breath in and a deep breath out. And then tap around your ears here. Okay, we're tapping on our lymphatic system. And I want you to do it again. And you're just inhaling and exhaling as you're doing that. It's so simple. It's really easy. Oh, there's my daughter. She has something to say. Am I on silent?
No, you keep tapping. I just
Into panic. Am I on silent? Oh no.
you're
What
tapping.
am I doing?
I just need to get on your computer for a sec.
Okay, let me step aside and let Laura take over.
Just stand above me and keep doing what you're
Okay,
doing.
so we're going to tap. We're going to tap in this area over here. And this is your thymus area, your thyroid area. And this is where a lot of the lymphatic system gets started. And just keep inhaling and exhaling because your breath is the pump that's going to keep your lymphatic system moving. Lift up one arm and tap under your arms. Just go all the way through here. And inhale and exhale. And if you need to yawn, go ahead and yawn. It just means your body is rebooting. There we go. And the other side, we're tapping on our lymph. It's not difficult. We can do that anywhere. You can go do it in your car at a red light. Nobody's going to know what you're doing. They're all in their own heads and their own worries anyways. So like I said, this course is to teach you fluency in using the scanner. There are some scans for lymph in Cepheid for frequencies. There's one for lymph nodes that are swollen in the abdomen. There's one for lymph nodes swollen under the arms, and they have homeopathic remedies that come up. You can play those, but it can be much simpler. So right now, while you're sitting here, I just want you to have your feet flat on the floor and lift one ankle and let it down, and lift the other ankle and let it down. And just keep doing that while I'm talking for the next 45 minutes or so. Just let your ankles come up and down, up and down. And have you ever been annoyed with kids when they're sitting there flailing their legs and flapping their knees and tapping their fingers and doing all that? Is their body integrating all the information that you're telling them. So if I see you bouncing around in your chair, I know you're listening. If you're sitting there like this, I'll know you're not listening and I need to do something really wild and crazy to get your attention again. All right. When we talked about Body Shift, we talked about weight loss. This is not a weight loss program in the traditional sense at all. Okay. We're not focusing on you losing weight, but when you use the scanner consistently and every day, you may release some of the weight that you've been holding on to for years. Or you may find that you're losing inches in your waist or under your arms, or you reduce the bra size. The problem isn't losing weight. And losing weight doesn't come from what we've been told for 150 years from counting calories. Okay? That might work for men's bodies. It has nothing to do with female hormones in our bodies at all. So I want to emphasize to you, as you use the scanner, your body, your nervous system is going to calm down. And when it calms down, the body feels safe. And when the body feels safe, she stops hoarding fatty tissue. So when we get into that calm, releasing the stress hormones and things, and I'll talk about that a little bit, we actually reduce the lymph flow. Because when you're tense like this, nothing moves in your body. If you're feeling pain and aches and swelling anywhere, your body's in this state. She is armored and she is ready to fight or she's ready to run away. And most of us have been in survival mode our entire lives. So Today, I want you to start reframing how you think about your body. She's not your enemy. She's not doing anything against you. Her entire purpose is to help you feel safe and survive in the environment that we are in. When your body feels safe, she's going to release what she no longer needs. And that includes pain, that includes swelling, and that includes fat. So, I want you to know that your body isn't broken. So I want you to just hug yourself for a minute. And as you're hugging yourself, just squeeze your arms a little bit, just like that, going down your arms. You're working on your lymphatic system. Your lymph is a pump, but it doesn't have a pump, okay? It needs you to keep moving. We're sitting right now. That doesn't help us move. In fact, they say sitting is the new disease. It's worse than smoking. It causes osteoporosis. It causes sarcopenia. It causes all kinds of congestion and different things. So if you're lucky enough that where you are right now, you have a desk, a hydraulic desk that goes up and down, I want you to stand up. Okay, I'm not that cute to look at, so you don't need to look at this 7-year-old body. And I just want you to move your legs. If you're sitting there, just raise your calves up and down, up and down. Okay, it's really simple. If you have a treadmill, get on your treadmill. You can still hear me, even if you're not looking at me. Okay, if you have a whole body vibration machine that oscillates front and back and keeps you jiggling and shaking, I have one. I've had one for 18 years. I absolutely love it. And my mother, who was 98 when she passed away, had used it already since she was 80 years old. Her legs were so strong, they were like a skier's legs. Doctors could not believe her posture at 98. She wasn't doing that old dementia thing. She was still strong and upright. A whole body vibration machine, if you don't have one, unfortunately, Solex doesn't sell one yet. I'll work on that. Will help you get strong in the tiniest muscles that you can't even reach at the gym. Okay, but right now, I just want you moving. I don't care if you're standing here like this, or, when we were kids and we waited in line and we just did this, it's a Tai Chi exercise. Just do it. Whatever your body wants to feel like right now, let her have that motion. That is moving your lymph system. That is keeping you really, really healthy. And that is releasing congestion, which means the histamines will release. You won't have the allergies. You won't have the congestion. You won't feel tired and broken. And we're not broken. All right, enough exercise. Stop it. I want you to sit for a minute and bring your hands together and just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. We're going to take a little time journey. Our sedentary lifestyle has made it very difficult for our bodies to stay healthy. So some people might call this a meditation, but I just want you to gently relax your eyes, relax your posture, and expand your awareness. Just open it, follow your breath, and allow your imagination to take you back in time. I want you perhaps to shrink the image you have of yourself to about 5 or 6 years old. And you're standing in front of your mom who you think knows everything in the planet. And you feel all of her emotions and you know all of her stresses, not consciously, but it's in your DNA. And notice that behind your mother is another woman. She's older. It's your grandmother, your mother's mother. And behind her, you're certainly noticing that there's a lineup of women in all kinds of different costumes. It's really interesting. Well, I want you to focus on your great-great-grandmother for about 150 years ago. For some of us, that'll be the pioneers who came to North America. And just notice what she's wearing. And notice her fingers and her knuckles. They're strong. They may even be gnarled, but they've definitely got calluses. And just take a look at her body. How strong she is, how strong her legs are, how strong her shoulders are. As you look at this woman and the women who are standing behind her, notice that she's standing there and her arms are pumping up and down. She's churning butter. She's churning butter and her arms are doing this for hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. They didn't have machines in those days. Her arms are pumping up and down, and while she's churning this butter, she's moving her lymphatic system. And then notice maybe you can hear some sounds in the background, and it's your grandfather, and he's outside and he's out there chopping wood. and his arms are moving, and his arms are lifting this great weighted axe, and it's splitting wood, and you can hear it in your imagination. And as you're there, you may notice that another relative, or perhaps your grandmother, has gone into another room to a wash basin, or maybe down to the river with a bundle of clothes. They didn't wash clothes very often, but when they did, it was intensive labor. They scrubbed it against the rocks. They scrubbed it against the washboards. Their arms were always moving. Their muscles were always building. Their lymphatic system was constantly in motion. And when they went to bed at night, they were so physically exhausted that they slept really, really well and really, really deeply, even though they were able to hear the wolves, the coyotes, somebody howling at the moon. Our ancestors were busy. When they boiled water, they had to lift either a heavy cast iron kettle if they were rich and put it on a big, heavy cast iron stove, or they built a tripod and had a big kettle in it, and they had to haul water from the well or the river to fill this contraption. They were constantly moving. They walked everywhere. I want you to appreciate these women who came before us. And the one in your imagination that just finished doing the laundry, I want you to imagine you running to help her lift up those heavy sheets and things and clip them onto a laundry line so that they could dry out in the sun. And these women were in the sun continuously and out in the rain and out in the wind. Indoors, they didn't have lights that destroyed their circadian rhythm. They had smoky fireplaces, and as soon as it got dark, they went to bed because they couldn't see anything. And they woke up with the sunrise. They were in rhythm with the land and the earth and the sun and the moon. I want you to feel your ancestry in your bones, in your DNA, how strong your legs are, how strong your back is. And remember a moment when the body was never still, never sedentary. It was always moving. There was rarely a moment that they sat still and read a book, because only the very, very rich had books. And there was never a moment when they sat and watched the television. My head went into the idiot box because it didn't exist. There was no part of your ancestors' existence where they are leading a sedentary lifestyle. And there's also no part of the day where they are eating 3 full meals a day that is all carbohydrate. They had to grow their own food. They had to till their gardens. They had to dig. They had to hoe. They had to pick the peas, the carrots, the corn. They had to mill and grind the grains. And have you ever kneaded bread? The women would get together and they would talk and they would laugh and they would help each other if they had neighbors, and they would knead that bread. And I want you to imagine your arms moving forward and back, kneading that bread, digging the palms of your hand into that dough. Allow that memory to come into your fingertips and your arms and work through your DNA. And I want you to breathe. And as you breathe, I want you to allow that breath to go deep down into your belly. And as you do that, appreciate your skills, your muscles, and your body. I want you to remember how capable your body is, and allow yourself to run up to each of your ancestors and hug her, because you are standing on their shoulders. You are doing with your life what they didn't have the opportunities to do. And they're very proud of you. And I want you to be proud of you. And as you finished giving these women an outpouring of your love and appreciation, allow yourself to come back to the present, only as quickly as you can allow your entire timeline to reevaluate your experiences into awe and appreciation. 150 years have passed, and you come back into our lifetime, And notice, without your eyes opening yet, that we sit for more than 12 hours a day at our jobs. We sit in cars, we drive, if we have a car, or on a bus. When we come home from a long day at work, many people come home and sit and watch TV, or they sit and scroll at a computer. Or if we look at our younger generation, they're hunched over on their phones, their posture completely collapsed, their neck extended, and their eyes are weary because they're not getting lymph flow into their neck and their eyes and their brain. I want you to notice the tension that this new awareness has brought you, that our lymphatic systems have become very stagnant. But we can change that. When you're ready, I want you to open your eyes and I want you to yawn. I want you to drop your jaw. Inhale as deeply as you can through your mouth, into your lungs, down into your belly, into your diaphragm, into your back, if that's where you feel it. And notice if you had this earth-shuddering shake go through your body. And if it didn't, I want you to yawn again. I want you to notice if it's getting locked or if you're releasing. Did you know that yawning is the second best exercise you can give your body? Orgasm's the first, but don't do that on Zoom, okay? And yawn again. When you yawn, you are rebooting your entire central nervous system. You are regulating your hormones. Your nerve endings are firing all the way down into your fingertips and your toes. And take another big deep breath. So I want you to tell me in the chat, I guess. It would help if I put that up. What is it that you felt while you were going on our little journey here? And what do you feel now? Karen can't stop yawning. This is great. If you're yawning, then I am flattered because I've done my job and we can end the call. All right. So yawning is going to reboot your lymphatic system as well. It's also going to regulate your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your entire body. It goes around behind your ears here, down your neck, across your chest, and down through your abdomen where that phrase, rest and digest? Well, it really should be relax and digest, but that doesn't rhyme. So when we are able to relax our lymphatic system, and that doesn't mean being sedentary, because that stalls our lymphatic system. I just need you to realize that you can move. Laura says, recognition that sitting is a luxury, but so is movement. And I would say nowadays, the luxury for us is to start moving, to start playing. Do you remember in school, they'd make you sit still and put your hands together and listen to the teacher? We learn by tapping our toes and flicking our fingers and stroking our body. And actually, this is a really easy lymphatic exercise you can do right now too. The lymph is that layer of fluid between your skin and your muscles. Just gently always move it towards your heart. Okay, we don't have to do more. If you had a cat or a dog sitting on your lap right now, you'd be stroking them. I've never asked my cat, but maybe they just like this because it's moving their lymph around. Another exercise you can do is just gently tap. In Qigong and Tai Chi, they do this. It's not hard. You're not hurting yourself. You're just taking a few moments to feel your body. We do this when we take a towel and dry ourselves off after a shower. I want you to do it now. You can't see it, but let's tap our thighs. Let's just tap our thighs and go further down and tap your calves. Yes, Karen, I admire our ancestors too, because we have no idea how difficult their lives were. And we have no appreciation for what we're going through now. We are such a lucky generation that we can take time to be spiritual and take time to ruminate on our issues and worries and doubts and things like that. They didn't. They were in survival mode the whole entire time. And we inherited that DNA, all of their strengths and some of their limitations too. So I want you to just love these ladies. Just love them to pieces. All right. Actually, while we're doing that, put your hands together over your heart and breathe. And I want you to tell your body that you love your body. and that you appreciate her, and that all of the symptoms and the sensations that she's giving you are communication. She's talking. We just forgot how to listen. We had no idea. Our society likes to tell us that it's women over 40 who struggle with weight, even if they're doing everything that society tells them to do, the calorie counting, the going to the gym, the excessive workouts, the torture that we put ourselves through, the starvation that some women put themselves through. All of these things are stressors. So while you're here, just rub your neck gently like that towards your heart. Just stroke yourself. You know, if a child was injured or worried or upset, you'd be stroking them, you'd be petting their hair. I want you to do that for you right now. It's not just an emotional thing. Literally, you are moving your lymphatic system. People who go for facials, they like to have all of this area massaged. Do it now. In fact, we've got new toys. We have such a luxurious lifestyle. Santa Claus brought me this. This is a brush to work on my lymph. And it feels really, really good. Like, I got it and thought, oh my God, what is this? This is silly. But you know what? It feels great. But you can do that with your own fingertips. You can do it on your own. We don't need the toys. I'm sure you've seen these. I actually got this at the dollar store about 10 years ago. And it's for the dry brushing, for the lymph. And it just feels good and it rejuvenates the skin. When our lymph is moving, we're actually getting rid of our wrinkles because all the hydration is coming up into our skin. This feels good too. You want one of those? Okay, Karen, if I see one, I'll pick it up for you and send it to you. But yeah, this kind of stuff feels good. I think the reason guys shave is because that just feels good. It just feels good. And my body feels loved and she feels taken care of. And it's like the stress just rolls down my back like, I don't know, warm olive oil. But maybe it's the feeling of the circulation of the lymph as it moves through my body. I don't know. Who's still doing the leg raises? Right foot up, down, left foot up, down, up, down. Keep it moving. Or pull in your glutes and make them tight and then let them go. And pull in your glutes and let it go. Can you do one cheek without the other? I don't know. I've never tried this before. Your body is alive. Let yourself feel her. Okay. I'm going to give you a bit of a biology lesson. I want you to keep doing whatever it is you need to do to make your body feel like she's getting some attention here. You got brushes for your kids for Christmas this year? Ugh, they're spoiled. Well loved, aren't they? And that handsome son of yours, he's adorable. Ugh, I wish he was older. I'd hook him up with my daughter. She'd have no say in the matter. We'd have the perfect family. All right. I said I'd give you a biology lesson. I want to do this really, really simply because biology is so enormous that our minds like to compartmentalize. It says you have a lymph system, you have a circulatory system, you have a urinary system, you have a cerebrospinal system, you have a muscular system. It breaks us up into all of these little systems. But the problem is that when we focus on a system, like today's talk on lymph, if I just focus on that narrow band, the whole body actually works together all at once. And it needs to work together all at once. So I've been teaching biology for 30, 40 years because I was in pharmaceutical, because I am a holistic practitioner. I find the body the most fascinating thing in the world. And looking at body now through the idea of atoms vibrating and frequencies and sounds moving through it and how light waves come into all of our atoms and our cells is mind-blowing, even for my mind. And I absolutely love it. But I want you to realize that by drinking water, we're not just putting fluid in our lymph system, we're making it possible for our heart to expand and contract. So many people have heart issues because they're dehydrated. Your lungs cannot expand and contract if you're not hydrated. And remember I said your brain uses 75% of the water you drink? Well, your eyes, if we were to take out your eyeballs and look inside of them, they are fluid. Your skin is fluid. The nerves and everything that feed your teeth and every part of your body is run by fluid and electricity, and water is a conductor of electricity, and it just becomes this big, beautiful ecosystem. And it's actually harder to talk about it than it is to just live it. Using the AO scan for me on a daily basis, I was healthy before. Using my modalities that I had, I became a very healthy person. At 70 years of age, so I guess I started the scanner at 68, it allowed me to reach a whole totally different level of health and level of mental health and a totally different level of how much energy I now have to expend. I wasn't tired before. I was always an Energizer bunny, but now I'm an Energizer bunny on steroids, and I didn't use steroids. I just use frequencies. I let the scanner optimize me every day. Just do that. Your life will change. Our medical system has never known what to do with women. I belong to a Facebook group, and we go through history looking at all of the scientists and all of the women who changed the world and how they were sort of erased from the history books. And we're bringing them back. But men didn't know what to do with women's hormones. They thought that we females were weaker versions of them. And we're not like them at all. Yes, we are humans, but our operating system is so very, very different. Men operate on cortisol and testosterone. Women operate on estrogen, progesterone, not dopamine, but oxytocin. We like to feel. So if nobody's hugging you right now, give yourself another hug. Just give yourself another hug. That's it. Karen's got this. Thank you, Anita. Marcia, I don't see you hugging yourself. Not calling anybody out here, really. I just want us to feel good. I want you to feel childlike right now, because when we feel childlike, we are bubbling energy from the inside out. Okay, we're giggling on the inside coming out. That makes us healthy. And I think because we have all these different hormones, we're not better than men, but we can stop trying to be the same as men. Our society is built for men, and some of us women have infiltrated into jobs that only men traditionally held. And I remember when I was in corporate, I wore men's suits, pinstripe suits, and I wore men's cologne so that men would stop hitting on me and take me seriously. Okay, I had to be armored. I had to be strong. And yes, I was the only female at Gold's Gym because I'd been in a car accident. And this is going back, oh, again, we're going to talk about my age. Never mind. Several decades ago, there was no physiotherapy that I could go to, but I was so injured, I couldn't hold a briefcase. So I went to the gym to work out, and everybody thought I was going to the gym to pick up dates. Like, no, I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to keep my neck on my shoulders. I knew nothing about lymph. I just knew that if I pushed my muscles, I would get strong. Well, that was a problem because then my body thought I was in danger. Technically, I sort of was, but not really. And women respond very differently to stress. So when we, let me reel back a little bit. I talked about estrogen. For women who have all these hormones running through our bodies, it seems to me we know very little about our hormones. So if estrogen, or when it declines, going through perimenopause and then menopause and postmenopause, your estrogen is responsible for creating the myelin sheath that goes around the nerves. So if this is a nerve, it has to be coated in this fatty tissue. It has to be coated in, oh, a bad word, cholesterol. Cholesterol is not a bad thing. In fact, they're finding that the more cholesterol you have in your body and in your brain, the longer your longevity. So estrogen is what creates our nerve supply to make the nerves grow. Okay, estrogen is a good thing. Estrogen, when it declines, starts getting a little wonky and creating insulin sensitivity. So we're not digesting the food the way we would optimally be using it. Estrogen also protects our mitochondria. And because we have red lights and things at Solex here, most of us are diving into what are these mitochondria? They are the little energy batteries that we need to keep us flourishing and give us the energy that we want. Estrogen also signals to the body where fat needs to be stored, either all over, either just in the belly, either in the breast because we're going to be nursing a child, in our legs. This is part of the balance that we need to learn about. So when estrogen drops or fluctuates, the body shifts the fat storage towards the abdomen, and that's when insulin resistance increases, but that is also when inflammation arises. The body interprets this drop of estrogen as a loss of safety. It's not a sign of aging. It's a sign of feeling safe. And if your body feels safe, she can regulate her hormones. Now, progesterone, I would say this hormone has to be in balance at the 4th week in our cycle before our periods. And when we have enough progesterone, we feel really, really happy. We feel on top of the world. We can handle any stressors that come our way, but it drops. And that drop is no longer calming our nervous system. And that's when we get PMS symptoms. We get upset, we get irate, we get super stressed. It protects us against cortisol excess. It preserves our muscles. It helps regulate our sleep rhythm. How many of you have heard your friends say, I wake up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't get back to sleep? It's because our hormones are doing this all day long. Okay. I could start talking about the liver and how it regulates hormones, but that's going to be another masterclass. I would say progesterone regulates anxiety. And not enough progesterone does, guess what? Fat storage. Okay, so now we've got our estrogen and our progesterone seemingly working against us. But fat is not the problem. Fat is an organ. Our society for 200 years has been saying, oh, fat is something that women get because they're not disciplined enough and I don't know, all the stupid reasons for it. Your fat is actually an organ, and the body creates it to protect you from cold, to protect you from heat, to protect you from starving to death, to protect you from injury. Fat is a requirement to keep your body safe. And if you remember our little meditation there, 150 years ago, our ancestors didn't have a lot of fat because they were using the energy in that fat to build muscle. And going back a few more thousands of years to caveman times, they needed that fat because it was the robust and voluptuous women who made sure that the tribe could keep, what's the word I'm looking for? Making babies. And raising those babies and keeping the human race going forward. Fatty tissue has been around for thousands of years to keep the human race moving forward. But the last 150 years, we changed our society and how we operate in society. So now it's become an issue. So I want you to forgive the fat, and I want to forget your ancestry. And I want you to appreciate everything that's come forward because, again, we're standing on the shoulders of all of those generations of women. Your body will create fat if there's too much cortisol in your system. If the dinosaur is chasing you, you need to use those fat stores to gather up the children and the elderly and sneak out the back of the cave and get everybody quietly away from the monsters while the guys are standing there fighting. Okay? They need the fat too. Okay, we burned up our fat. We're not doing that nowadays. We live sedentary lives. We're not moving. And the cortisol, we still think there's a dinosaur down our back, but we call it the mortgage and we call it, I don't know, money, and we call it our noisy neighbors, whatever. Just, we need to reframe that. I want you to reframe this. Cortisol dominance is also a predicament of all the TV commercials we watch and all of the mystery stories we read and all of the TV shows that we're watching and all the dystopian movies that are out there making people feel always on edge about all the news that we hear because we can't do anything about that. We can only protect our own little bubble, our own little home, our own little family. All of this distraction creates cortisol in your body because it puts you into survival mode. And in midlife, apparently I'm not in midlife anymore, but I identify with that. In midlife, we have spent decades caregiving, accumulating unresolved trauma, chronic overfunctioning, and trying to prove that we're good enough or that we've done enough or that we are enough and all of that nonsense that society demands on us. So we have very high and dysregulated cortisol. So when women try to exercise the way men told us to go to the gym and exercise, on one hand, yes, we need to build strength, but on the other hand, men's bodies are different and cortisol does not burn fat. In fact, we never burn fat. It's just, that's not how it happens. So I'm going to say cortisol blocks fat loss and can increase more fat. So here we are trying to take care of ourselves and we're doing the opposite. Now I want you to think about something. They say burn calories. We don't burn calories either. Science has shown that we actually exhale through our breath. The carbon dioxide is the fat that your body is using up as energy. Interesting, eh? Start breathing deeply. You know when you're stressed because you're holding your breath. And some of you are doing it right now. You're listening to me and you're holding your breath. Start breathing. Inhale, big deep inhale, and let it go. And do it again. Big deep inhale and let it go. And move your arms up as you're breathing in and let it go. Let's be dramatic. We're not too much. If the world can't handle us, too bad. It can back off. Okay? This way, we're creating muscles. In fact, women don't do this enough. I want you to pretend you're lifting laundry and hanging it on the line, or washing walls, or painting. Painters don't have any extra fat. Just keep moving your arms. You don't have to have weights in your arms. Just use your own muscle weight against it. This tells your body that you're not giving up, that you're not afraid. It tells your body not to let go of the reserves it built because you're not in trouble. It can use it because we're having fun. How much can we stretch? What else can we do here? And remember those calves of yours, up and down, up and down. If we have strong calf muscles and we don't have to do squats, but you know, the lifting and bending, most of us bend over this way. That's not healthy. Bend down this way. Our ancestors didn't have toilets. They squatted in the fields. Our ancestors didn't have chairs. They squatted and their legs were so strong. Allow yourself to do that because the stronger your calves are, the more blood and lymph is moved through your body. It nourishes the heart and it nourishes the brain. So now science is saying if our calves are strong, then we won't have dementia. And I know for a fact that nobody on this call wants dementia. Dementia is a 20th century disease. And it's not just because they gave us statins. It's because we are sitting for way too long. Does everybody need to get up and do jumping jacks? Oh, did everybody bring water to the class here just now? Everybody's got water? Because if you don't, go to the kitchen quickly. I'll wait for you and come back with some water. Is everybody having fun yet? All righty. What else can we talk about here? There's so many different things. Oh, okay. Does anybody have a stiff neck right now? Just turn your neck to the side and breathe. Let your shoulders relax. Most of us sit with our shoulders up here trying to be earrings and touch our earlobes. Just let your back, roll your shoulders backwards. Just let yourself move. It doesn't have to be a workout. Just let it relax you. Okay, how many of you have heard of leptin resistance? That's been the latest buzzword for the last few years. Leptin resistance is when your body doesn't tell you you're full, even though you've been eating a lot. When I was a kid, we had Italian neighbors, and they would have these big meals, and then they would have a shot of bitters, and they would sit there and they tap their big belly like that, and they would say they were full. And I thought these guys were nuts. But you know what? I want you to tap your belly right now, because when you gently tap your belly, You're tapping your liver, your gallbladder, your pancreas. You're just telling your whole body that I am alive and that I deserve to keep living and that I have something to live for. And it allows you to get your digestion going. So leptin resistance is when you can eat and eat and eat and you still feel like you're starving. Your body doesn't say, I'm full. And that's not a problem. And you don't need more medication for that. Although you could take some digestive enzymes or something like gut from Solex. But with a sluggish lymph and a dysregulated nervous system that makes you think you're always in survival mode, the body will store fat. The body cannot digest if she's tense. Um, a lot of people like to sit and read their whatever these things are called here, these glow lights. If you're reading that while you're eating, or you're watching TV while you're eating, you cannot digest the food you're eating. Your body will store it as fat. Isn't that wild? So I want you to think of something. Think of the jungle. Big lion has just killed an antelope and he is feasting on that cantaloupe and he's going to eat his fill. And when he's finished eating, he's going to saunter off and go lie down and have a sleep for 2 or 3 days. The hyenas have been watching him and the coyotes have been watching him and they're hiding behind the trees, waiting for this lion to very calmly go and rest. And they will dart towards the food and they will argue with each other and they will try and grab as many mouthfuls as they can, always looking over their shoulder at the lion to make sure he doesn't wake up and come and eat them too. And to make sure they're not getting snapped at by their friends who came with them to this meal and they're eating. And they just run away with the food they have until they can find somewhere, a cave or I don't know, whatever they live in, a grassy knoll somewhere, and start digesting. And then they repeat that again because they can smell somebody cooking a barbecue dinner over a couple of houses over, and they will try and snatch the food when they have a chance to. But that lion does the full digestive system. I want you all to be lions. Don't be hyenas. Sit. Don't count the beans that you're eating either. Science has shown that if we are laughing and giggling and just enjoying ourselves and being very calm or having conversation with loving people, we digest our food much better than if we are trying to eat a macro diet or watching something stressful or reading a stressful book while we're eating. Take that 5 minutes to slow down and chew your food. Digestion starts in the mouth. What has this got to do with lymph? Absolutely everything. Okay. You can start off a meal by having a couple of sips of water, whole glass if you want. But when you digest and chew, that is where your digestive system starts. The enzymes start here, then we swallow, and the stomach goes, oh, thank you for adding these digestive enzymes. I know what to do with this now. Take small bites, chew well, until the food is sludgy and sweet, and then swallow. So many people bolt the food. You can see guys, they're eating a steak and these big chunks go in their mouth and they go chop, 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 boom. The stomach's going to receive that and go, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? And then it putrates and then it becomes an alcohol still. And then they get foggy brain and they get these big bellies because the body is not digesting. A woman's belly is usually different. It's because we're stressed and the body says, store it as fat. And when we have time, we'll get to it. Or when we are in a crisis, we will use it up. So we want the leptin to go, oh, I've eaten enough right now. I feel full. That means I'm safe and everything's cool. I can use the fat instead of store the fat. Now, ghrelin is another hormone. And I mean, there's so many. I'm not going to go through all of them. We're not going to talk about testosterone today. We're not going to talk about oxytocin, although we could. But ghrelin is another hormone that its disruption causes you to be hungry all the time. It's literally going, I'm starving, feed me. And you give it some carbohydrates and it goes, thank you, I'm full, but I'm starving. I need minerals. I need vitamins. Give me something I can digest, not something that I instantly burn off like sugar. Ghrelin makes you feel like you're not being nourished and it causes you to sleep very poorly. And it causes that other hormone, that cortisol, to spike again. And it causes you to have nutrient depletion. your appetite goes up. You're craving sugar, you're craving sweets, you're craving carbs, you're craving empty carbohydrates and all those packaged foods that are there to sit on a shelf for 100 years. But you never feel fueled and satisfied. We have been taught to blame that on cortisol levels, but really the cortisol isn't the bad guy by herself. The ghrelin is there. So again, why is Jessie talking so much? Why is she saying all of this? Are you still doing the feet thing? Who's not doing the feet thing? Put up your hand and start doing the feet thing. Clench those guts, glutes. Just allow yourself to hop into. I want you to be childlike. I want you to play. I want you to just keep moving. Okay, keep moving. I don't want you to. I do not want to be responsible for you sitting here and stagnating your lymph and getting fat. Okay, we're not doing that. You got to keep moving. Thank you, Kathy. Our cheering committee is there. So the reason I'm telling you all of this is because your lymph is what brings all of these hormones where they have to go in the body. Okay? They make sure that you're using the hormones that you need when you need to use them, and they make sure that they clean up the excess when you don't need it. Hormones aren't just floating around in your body, okay? They're not. They travel through the fluids. The fluid is the lymph and the blood, your interstitial fluid. But this lymphatic system of ours is a miracle for our body. It is the delivery system and the cleanup crew. It is like a traffic controller, like all the stop and go lights that we have in our streets. Your lymph has to travel that. Okay, think of it as truckloads of hormones with destinations they have to go to and deadlines they have to meet. When your lymph is flowing in this rhythm, then your hormones arrive where they're supposed to be, and they do their job and they bind their receptors, and then they get cleared out when they're done. That is a healthy endocrine system. Movement in, movement out. So when lymph is stagnant, we feel pain, we feel stiffness, we feel sore. People get cancer, people get all kinds of endocrine diseases. Just means your body is in dis-ease, it's not in ease. It holds on to the chemicals of trauma. And I'm pretty sure that over time, science is going to show us that when we sit, it generates a new kind of chemical that we just haven't identified yet. And it creates inflammation. And everything slows down. Remember that diagram I gave you? Everything's cut in half. We want everything to be circulating. We don't want any hormones to be in a tissue that it doesn't need to be in too long. We don't want them to not reach their target. People often say to me, "Oh, I had my ovaries cut out or my uterus has been removed." Your pituitary gland still throws out the hormones. Everything needs to work together. Okay, we don't want estrogen dominance. We don't want cortisol overload. Thyroid. I didn't mention thyroid yet. Should I? No, I'm not going to talk about thyroid because muscle testing said no. But your thyroid is responsible for moving all this stuff around too. Okay, it's a master gland. It needs your lymphatic system to nourish it and feed it. It needs to receive all the chemicals and hormones and vitamins and minerals and things that it needs to operate properly. So everything is about flow. And that's where the title comes in from this workshop. It's all about flow. I want you, if you take nothing else from today's class, to reframe your idea that your body is working against you, that fat is bad for you, it's just a message, or that you have a circulation problem, or whatever labels the doctors have given you. I want you to drop the labels. I want you to know that when we have excess weight, it's because the hormones aren't going where they need to go, but you don't have a hormone problem. The fatty tissue is storing things. It's storing toxins. It's storing parasites. It's storing bacteria or mold. There is always something going on that your fatty tissue is trying to protect you from. And the only tool I have, besides trying to teach everybody on the planet how to do body talk, is to get the scanner into their hands and run the scans every day so that the scanner can read your 200,000 different frequencies and let you know what is in balance and often what isn't in balance. And I know most people are going to say, oh, Jesse, what do I do about the ones that aren't in balance? You run a scan tomorrow. And what do I do about the ones that aren't in balance? You run a scan tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And you keep moving. The movement is going to bring the fluid into your tissues so your tissues and cells and atoms can receive the frequencies that they need to be healthier. Lymph is the pathway, and movement opens up your lymph, and your breath pumps your lymph, and hydration carries all of these frequencies to where they need to go. And these frequencies move through your entire body because you are frequencies. You're not a solid body. Your skin is made up of trillions of cells. Your organs, we call them liver and spleen and stomach and pancreas and I don't know, pituitary ears. We have labeled everything, but you are one ecosystem. You are an amazing environment made out of light and sound frequencies. And if we can get those frequencies into alignment, you're going to be walking on air. You're going to be like Jesus walking on water. You're going to be healthy. Just as an aside, did you know that Jesus didn't speak, and he certainly didn't speak English? His language was called Aramaic, and Aramaic was sung. It was music. He was accessing all these musical frequencies to create miracles in other people's bodies. You are a miracle. I want you to know that. Your body is miraculous. They have taught us to think that there's something wrong with us. Stop looking at what's wrong with you and look for what's right about you. Really, your hormones are just messengers in your lymph. Your lymph is the delivery system and the cleanup crew, the maintenance man. Oh, I have an analogy for you. Okay. This is one I give to my body talk clients when they're not hydrated enough. I have beige carpets, wall-to-wall carpeting in my home. I don't know why I did that. Two dogs, a cat, a mother who was incontinent, two kids, like stupid, 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 stupid. So I'm always washing my carpets at least twice a year. If I take my carpet cleaner and I clean the carpet in this room, the water is going to turn black. Okay? If I decide I want to be lazy at this moment and not dump out that dirty water and just go into the next room and just maybe add some soap, okay? I'm going to make very sticky, dirty water, and that beige carpet in there is going to be gray. So your lymphatic system is moving this carpet cleaner through your body. Don't just add more supplements. Always add more water, okay? And your urinary system will take care of getting rid of that dirty water. Keep adding water. We can survive on water. We can survive without food for days. We can't survive without air. But by the time our mouth says we're thirsty, the rest of your body is already severely dehydrated. I'm not asking you to take a glass and go, gook, 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 because all that's going to do is flow down through your main system and pull all of the moisture out of your cells. I want you to take a sip here and take a sip there and take another sip throughout the day. And we've got the scanner and we can imprint our frequencies in here to help us do that. In fact, does anybody here do water fasts? Not going to talk into water fast, but it is so easy to do a water fast when you're imprinting your water because it's giving you all the minerals and things that you need. It's amazing. What we can do with this system blows my mind. Your body isn't failing you. She's just getting stuck. So with the scanner, we unstick. And by allowing ourselves to move, who stopped moving their ankles? I know I did. Oops. Your body and all its hormones. We don't need to be sliced and diced necessarily. We don't need to have hormone replacement therapy and things like that. We just need to regulate our body. I haven't even got through all 15 of these pages yet, but you've been with me for an hour now. So I want to say thank you. If this is of value to you, then I will do more. But I want you to know that even if you've been told you have a thyroid issue or doctors tell you you have osteoporosis. Your bones are not rocks. Okay? They take in the lymph, they take in the nutrition, they are constantly growing. And in order to do that, we need the estrogen, the cortisol, the progesterone, everything to be regular in our body. We do not have to go through menopause and horrible hot flashes and things like that. Oh, I guess I just figured out another masterclass we could do. But you have tools. And I'm meant to be wearing my red light because did you know these little red lights, this one that might need recharging, will also circulate lymph for you? It's giving your mitochondria energy. So if you exercise while this is on, or sit on a tread, or walk on a treadmill, or even sit on an oscillating vibration plate or something, you will be exercising. Yeah. Any questions? You can always ask me questions in school, and we'll answer them there. Um, there is, if you want to know more about our hormones and our lymphatic system, there is so much that I could share with you. Our bodies are amazing. Your body is a miracle. And using the scanner just makes it all so much more miraculous. That is an organ. Yes, Marcia, it is. They have done a number on our brains trying to make us feel that we are not enough. Women do a lot. We do a lot, and always have. All right, ladies, I think we're done. I'm going to close this off. Like I said, if you have any questions and things, ask in school and we can answer them. Okay, that's why we have this group going, because we want to build a community of informed women, healthy women, and I want to see how optimal and superhuman we can get. Because I always say they know how to make thoroughbred horses, but they don't let us be thoroughbreds. Well, I'm going to be a thoroughbred. So in 30 years, can we have another coffee date? Because I'll be 100 then and it'll be time for a birthday party.
Sounds like fun. Thank you, Jessie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.